What's up guys, I'm doing another Project Scorpio video, and in this video we're going to be talking about 4K game DVR and 4K game clips and recording and streaming on the Project Scorpio. So this is something that was brought up on the reveal that Digital Foundry did the other day, and it's something that I haven't seen like anybody cover, but I think it's actually really exciting, and I think it's, worthy of a video to be made about it, and I'm just going to let you guys know about it too, because it's a really awesome feature, but like I said, I don't see anybody talking about it. So what I'm talking about is that the Xbox One Scorpio, or the Project Scorpio, will be able to record game clips or full-length games or whatever, or even streaming at 4K 60 frames per second. And it'll be using the new HEVC codec, and it'll also be a high bitrate, so it won't be any of this like really bad bitrate clips that we have on the current Xbox One right now. And this is really huge. Like, this is awesome. So currently the Xbox One, when you do like Xbox record that, or you like double tap the Xbox button and you hit X and it records like the last 30 seconds or whatever, or you can set it to start recording and then stop recording whenever you want, that will record at 720p 30 frames per second, and I believe it's like 10 megabits per second. It's not a very high bit rate at all, and even YouTube's bitrate quality is higher than the Xbox's recordings. And so what it results in is a sub full HD image, so it's like barely HD, it's 720p, and so that alone is, a bad thing on its own, but it's also low bitrate, so there's not very much quality in it. I mean, even a 720p image or video can still look good if there's sufficient bandwidth and if it has a really high bitrate, but this doesn't, so that makes the image quality look bad. And then also it's only 30 frames per second, so if you're recording like a 60 frames per second game like Halo 5 or like Battlefield 1 or Black Ops 3 or something like that, it won't look like it was in game because it's 30 frames per second and these games run at 60, so you're only capturing half as many frames as are actually being displayed on the screen. So that's the old way. That's how the Xbox One and Xbox One S currently do it, but with the Scorpio it said that it will record at 4K 60 frames per second. So with the Scorpio, games will run at 4K, and depending on the game, it might either run at 30 frames per second or at 60, but the capture will record at 4K 60 frames per second. So this is huge. Like, I don't think there is a single capture card out there on the market that does record 4K 60 frames per second. I could be totally wrong about that, but any research and everything that I've done into this, all I can find is like 4K capture cards that record at 30 frames per second. I haven't seen a single one that does 4K 60, and even so, most of these are very expensive. And I personally, what I record all my gameplay with, the gameplay you're seeing in the background is recorded from an Elgato Game Capture HD Pro, and it's this little internal PCIe capture card that plugs into your inside of your PC, and even that will only allow me to record at 1080p 60 frames per second and I believe 60 megabits per second, so a very high bit rate. But even then, still, like with the Scorpio, I won't be able to record 4K games with it. It'll only be able to record 1080. So if the Scorpio can just do this out of the box, that is absolutely incredible. It'll make like any gameplays and stuff on YouTube so much better looking, just because you're going to be able to play a game like Forza Motorsport 6 that ran at 4K 60 frames per second. You're going to be able to upload clips of that at the quality that the game is actually in, so at 4K 60 frames per second, a high bit rate, and this is all just from the internal of the console. You don't have to buy a PC and get like an external capture card and everything and hook these up with HDMI and everything. You just literally have to do Xbox record that if you have a Kinect or something, or you can literally just like double tap the Xbox button and hit X, record the last 30 seconds. And this is absolutely huge. Like, this is ridiculous. And like, if you wanted to stream at 4K 60 frames per second, you'd have to have a really, really good PC. You'd have to have like a monstrous PC that would allow you to do that, would like allow you to process that much data. I mean, you would also need a really high, bandwidth and really high internet and really good internet. I mean, that's, regardless, you would also need that with the Xbox. With the Xbox, you literally could just like snap the Twitch app or the YouTube app or something like that, and you can just record and stream. Like, you could use Beam, stream 4K 60 FPS gameplay, and it's just straight from your system. You don't have to hook up an additional PC or anything to it. It's just boom, just like that, easy. And this whole thing is just really incredible, and I think it's awesome. And I'm just seriously so excited for it. I can't believe this. Like, this is ridiculous. The internal Xbox One, like the internal capture on the Xbox, will be higher than like almost any external device. So there you guys go. Tell me what you guys think of this in the comments down below. I mean, I know this video is basically just made for like content creators, but even still, like if you're playing a game and you get like a sick clip or something like that and you want to go back and play it, if you do it right now on the Xbox One, it's like, it's okay quality, but if you do it on the Scorpio, it'll be like this pristine, full 4K quality, high bitrate, 60 frames per second, and it'll just look exactly like the game. You don't have any scaling artifacts or anything, and it'll just make it look fantastic. The Scorpio is overall just a really awesome console, and I'm really pumped for it. So tell me what you guys think of this in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.